Welcome to Dr. T's Cookbook of Awesomeness, and today we are making Pad Thai, the famous noodle dish. And to help me out is my good friend, Matthew Palmquist.
Hello.
Now Matt's an area musician here in the Minneapolis area, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about what he does.
Yeah, so my career's kind of been all over the place for a while. I've been playing saxophone for about 23 years. I've been producing music for about 5 years, and as of recently, I've worked with Goop City Music, which I got our t-shirt right here. And that's kind of the special project where me and a bunch of amazing musicians kind of ended up in the right place at the right time, and we started this it's a band, but it's almost like a music collective too.
All right, Matt, why don't you tell us about your solo work and your studio work?
Yeah. So I have a solo project, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now. It's under the artist alias Moonshee Sax, and that's spelled Moonshie space sax, as in the saxophone. And that's kind of like where all my musical influences kind of blend into my own production and my saxophone. And I've released 2 self-produced jazz albums under that artist name. And I'm going to continue to release more as time goes on. And one thing that I have been doing is a lot of studio work with a lot of musicians throughout the Twin Cities. Producers and other bands will hit me up to play saxophone on their songs. So what I would do is I'll get an email of a song that a producer wants me to rip the saxophone solo on, or create a horn section too. And then I'll throw it on my computer at home and record a saxophone solo and then send it back to them. Or the other day, I was just in a real music studio with a band I've never met before, and I just laid it down in their in their studio. But that's kind of how I've been getting by during the pandemic, or that's one of the ways I've been getting by with the pandemic, because people trust in me, and then they pay me just not much money, but I mean it's something, it's enough to get some groceries and to stay alive.
All right.
During a pandemic. But yeah, that's kind of my production and solo journey.
That's what we need. Stay alive.
Yeah.
All right, let's get cooking here. We're going to start off by prepping a few things. I've got a knife here, and if you want to prep these veggies, we've got some garlic chives here. This is just kind of an Asian vegetable. They're garlicky and chivy and a little oniony. Then we also have some scallions, some green onions as well. So if you just want to cut off the ends here and then just cut them into 2-inch pieces.
Definitely.
We want a little bit of rustic look to it. So while you're doing that, why don't you just the very tips?
Just the very tips?
Yeah, you want those whites. Those are good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll move that up a bit more.
The whites are flavor, man. Flavor. Also, don't cut off your fingers.
I need those. That's for sure. Need those phalanges.
So tell me about your learning experience and growing up and your love of sax. How'd that come about?
Yeah, so the first time I heard saxophone, I was in 3rd grade, and my choir teacher / music teacher, she played a song by John Coltrane, and immediately I was kind of drawn towards the sound of the saxophone, and I told my mom. After that, I got home from class, and I was like, God, I really love that saxophones, and I kind of want to like try one out. So she made a phone call to her younger brother, who then came over with this old elementary school saxophone, and then he gave it to me. And since then, I've been like taking lessons and learning how to play by ear, and now I'm like 28, and I still do it. And so that's like a big part of like how it happened. Was I heard the sound and I heard John Coltrane's music, and it just resonated with me so much I had to kind of pick up the saxophone. And yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep moving on here.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to use this handy dandy bowl to mix up our sauce. So this sauce has got a few different parts to it. So first off, we got our fish sauce. This is the Red Boat fish sauce brand. It's a little bit more expensive, but dang, it's worth it. It's good stuff.
Cool.
So 4 tablespoons of the fish sauce.
You can smell it. It smells pretty good.
Yeah. And then to that we're going to add our tamarind paste. So tamarind paste, it's like a fruit. This is concentrated. It's just kind of in a liquid form. You can find this at your Asian grocery. So we're going to do 3 of this. And it's got a really kind of tart, almost sour kind of flavor to it. But it's kind of classic pad thai kind of flavor.
Cool.
So we got that. Then we've got rice wine vinegar. Just need 1 tablespoon of this. Again, gonna add a little more acidity to it.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then we've got a little bit of lime juice. I'm not gonna use all this. I'm gonna use probably about half. About a tablespoon of lime juice, freshly squeezed. And this is palm sugar. Now, palm sugar comes in like these weird kind of, not quite a ball, but it's kind of a weird domed shape kind of thing. And you kind of have to crush it up for this. So I just took a mortar and pestle and I crushed it up. And we're going to throw that in there, about 4 tablespoons of that. And then last but not least, a little bit of sriracha. And if you've watched my sriracha video, and I'll put a link up here for you to check it out. We tried different brands of sriracha. This is the Sriracha Panish. This is like top 3 of the srirachas that we tried. So I'm going to put a tablespoon, a little bit more in there.
Cool.
And so that's our sauce. We're going to give it a quick little stir. We just want that sugar to get all dissolved in there. That's the biggest thing.
Cool.
And that's our sauce. Now tell me, Matt, have you had pad thai before?
I have had it, I think, like 1 time, and it was this summer, actually.
Okay, so this is a little bit new for you, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
A lot of people associate pad thai with peanuts, and some recipes, they do put some creamy peanut butter in it. That's not what we're going to do today. We are going to put some crushed peanuts up on top, but for our sauce, no peanut butter. But if you like peanut butter, you can put a tablespoon or 2 right in here and mix it up. All right, and one other prep thing we're going to do is our noodles. Now we're going to be using some fresh noodles, so we're not going to actually cook these because they're already pretty soft, and we don't want them to get over soft. But I do just want to loosen them up a little bit, and so we're going to put it in a bowl of hot water and just let it soak for a couple minutes before we start cooking. These pad thai noodles, you say pad thai noodles, really any rice noodle. These are a little bit flatter and a little wider than what you might be used to in other applications, but you can use any noodle that you want, really. If you don't like rice noodles, go ahead and use, a normal wheat-style noodle. It doesn't really make a difference. It's really up to you what you like. But this is what's traditional. So we're just going to open this up. and toss them in the water here. You can see they're kind of stuck together. That's why we just want to get them in the water just so they loosen up just a little bit here. See? Once they hit that water, then it kind of loosens up. See, it comes apart.
Wow, yeah.
And once we start cooking with this, they'll absorb all the liquid and be nice and soft. Okay, let's get started here. So, I'm going to use a little bit of canola oil. Canola oil is a nice neutral oil, doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, because I want the flavors of everything else to kind of come out.
Definitely.
And then this oil is warming up here, and I'm going to throw in some minced garlic. And this induction burner heats up super fast. Uses magnets, so it's really quick. So you mentioned the pandemic has kind of changed the way you do things, the way you get paid, the way you do music. So tell me a little bit more about that. How has the pandemic, affected things? Yeah.
Well, so, for the past like 2 or 3 years, Goop City has been playing at least 2 to 4 shows a week. And we were kind of set up last summer to play a bunch of big shows, and that was gonna be like our summer was headlining some festivals, headlining some big shows, getting some money from that. But then once the pandemic hit, we basically had everything came to a halt. Obviously because all the venues shut down, so we really didn't have that to rely on.
One second here. I've got some dried shrimp. It's totally optional, but we're going to toss it in there for a little extra flavor. Keep on going.
Yeah, so when everything came to a halt, I, knew that I still wanted to be making music and doing all that. So, we have the studio set up in our house. So I was able to reach out to producers who have expressed interest in my saxophone in the past, and just be like, hey, if you do need that saxophone part that we were talking about a year ago, I can do it all from my basement. We don't have to be in the same room as each other, so we can socially distance while making music. And I've just kind of been doing that for about 10 months now. And now things are kind of snowballing and it's getting more lucrative, actually, which is nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to throw in our shrimp. We got some raw tail-on shrimp. If you don't like the tails, grab some shrimp without tails. But I'm just going to throw this in here.
That looks good.
I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit, actually. Getting a little...
Smell it.
I'm going to grab that canola oil there and just give it a little bit more of a squirt. Dry up just a little bit. There you go.
Like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool. Oh, yeah. I'll talk about that.
So we're just going to let this shrimp cook a minute or so on this side, another minute on the other side, and then we'll start adding some of our other ingredients.
Cool.
So, was there something else that you wanted to talk about?
John was just telling me to talk about my album that I released.
Oh yeah, tell us all about that. That'd be cool.
So the album was released on New Year's Eve, this last one that we just celebrated, and it's called Sacred Lullaby. And what it is kind of I produced this album during the pandemic, and it was kind of all of my emotions and what I've learned throughout the years of production kind of all colliding into this project that I kind of wanted it to be relaxing and something that you could listen to before you go to bed, type of jazz music, but it's got a hip-hop influence.
Okay.
So yeah, that just got released, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it. So if you guys want to look it up, it's on my Bandcamp it's on the Goop City Bandcamp, and it's also on the Moonshee Sax Bandcamp. So that's available on all streaming platforms as well. Cool, but yeah.
And as you can see, these shrimp cook super fast.
Yeah, wow. Look at that.
Minute on each side.
No.
Now we're actually gonna kind of move this off, all these shrimp off to the side here, and cook up our eggs. So just 2 large eggs, dump them right in there. You don't have to scramble them first. We're just gonna scramble them right here in the pan. We can break them up.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that. Just a little. And you see how fast they cook up, and that's why a non-stick pan.
So helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta get one of those.
This is a great non-stick pan from Meeson. They're pretty reasonable, and my favorite part about these non-stick pans is that they have a steel plate on the bottom, so it works with an induction cooktop.
Okay.
Okay, so our eggs are pretty much cooked here. So let's grab the noodles. Right, folks, here's our noodles. I drained off the water, and now I'm just gonna get these right up in the pan. And I probably don't have enough room for all of these. I'll get as much in here as I can. But let's get these noodles in here. And we're gonna grab our sauce. Now this is super easy, right? You've seen us cut up a few vegetables, throw some sauce in this bowl, and now we're just gonna pour this in.
Kind of mix it around.
Some of that sugar didn't quite completely dissolve, but that's alright. We'll do what we do. But it's in the pan. Now we're just gonna mix it around.
Definitely.
And again, these noodles are a little bit stiff, right? Because we didn't actually cook them, but in the pan with the liquid, it's gonna cook them right up. So they're perfect.
Smells delicious.
So this is just gonna take a few minutes here. And then we'll start adding in our vegetables. And then it'll be pretty much ready to go.
Wow.
So as this starts to cook, what else is there? I mean, we talked about your music so much so far.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about you that we need to know? Something that's unique or interesting about you?
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that I like to do, but one of the big things that I like to do is be outside and go hiking, and I just love being outdoors. So I'm a huge outdoors guy. I try to get outside at least once or twice a week and go on hikes and stuff. Do a lot of kayaking. You know, I used to play a lot of soccer, and that was kind of my life before like music took over. Was playing soccer.
Were you like, looking to go play at higher levels?
Yeah. So I was trying to be a professional soccer player when I was a kid, and I got all the way up to college level soccer, and then I was playing on a team over at Bethany Lutheran College in Mankato for a little bit, and then I ended up switching momentum with what I wanted to do, and I started to realize that like playing music in front of people was really what I wanted to do. So I kind of took a step back from playing soccer, and then I coached it for a while.
So what level did you coach at?
I coached kids ages 2 to 5. Believe it or not.
2 to 5. They
Yeah.
start that early at 2?
Yeah.
They can't even walk.
Exactly. But we teach them to like balance and stuff, and it's good for their like self-esteem, and it's good for their social skills. So
at what
a lot
point,
of it was more developmental, like just like helping kids like be confident enough to like kick a ball.
So at what point do you teach them to fake the injury on the field?
That's age 3.
Oh, okay.
Age 3, yep. And they're good at it too.
And Winnie's looking to get some of this pad thai.
Yeah, she can smell it. Wow, that smells amazing.
It's pretty much done here. We're gonna add in our veggies. You want to just start plopping those in there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Not all of them. We'll leave some for garnish on the top. But
Okay. How's that?
yeah, get a few more of these onions in there. So we just want to get them a little worked in there.
Wow.
You want to go over there and grab those peanuts?
Yes.
Cool. Hanging down. Okay.
There you go.
So we're also going to.
Wow,
peanuts in
that
there.
looks so good.
Woo. All right. And it's flying all over the place. But this is more or less done here. Some traditional looking pad thai.
Yeah, that
And,
looks amazing.
We're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to set up over the table and tell you how it tastes. Well, it's time to dig in and see if this tastes dope or not. And you can see John here over in the corner. You may remember him from a previous video with the tater tot hot dish. So, John's participating.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
It tastes dope. That fish sauce really sticks out. Right? Is that that?
Yeah, the tamarind paste, which gives it that kind of, it's very, kind of a sour taste.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sriracha, I got a little heavy-handed with sriracha, so it's a little spicy, but
I like it.
Oh, that's good though.
could have come with a little bit more, a little bit of oil just to keep these noodles from getting so sticky, but,
That's fantastic. This dog.
What do you think, John?
I love it, yeah.
So much flavor.
Definitely better than the mac and cheese or whatever quick ramen noodle thing you make.
John, I taught you how to make the tater tot hot dish. You can make better food at home.
Whoa. Talking in this context. Although mac and cheese really isn't the same contact. It's noodles. That's not the whole thing in common.
Well, we're gonna keep eating here. I'd like to thank my special guest, Matthew Palmquist, again.
Thank you.
Check him out on, where are you at? Are you on Spotify or?
We're on Spotify. Goop City Music and Moonshee Sax are all on Spotify. And all other streaming platforms as well.
Facebook, Instagram, all of it.
All right. So you guys check these guys out. They're awesome. I want to hear that album that puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
I need that stuff. But from here, from us here at Cookbook of Awesomeness, stay awesome.
I go salsa dancing with my companion.
Wow.